Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to do one final review segment on this Segway GT3 Pro, the 100-mile review. I've had it for a little while now, and I've kind of built up some opinions and some experiences. So I'm just going to kind of leave those, let those go. And yeah, then once we're done with that, for all of you who are getting sick of the $2,700 scooter videos, I got a new segment coming up. Thanks to Melissa at Tableau for sending me a replacement unit. Yeah, the other Tableau broke, and it wasn't my fault. So have a little, activation party there where I monitor some of the updates and things like that. If you got a chance, go ahead and give us a thumbs up, a like, subscribe, and interact with the AI if you can. It helps, helps our ratings. So going to go ahead and get into it. Prior to this scooter, I had no previous e-scooter experience outside a few, rentals, on vacation, things like that. Physically, this is a very large, very heavy scooter. It seems to be built to automotive grade standards. Everything is thick, insulated, things are welded, the structure completely solid, no rattle, wiggle, flex anywhere. There's a lot of suspension. I haven't experienced any clunking or bottoming out in my riding. I haven't been especially aggressive, but I've been through some pretty good sized potholes and it's handled it like a champ. I've ridden this in the rain several times, and there's no spray. The guards do a great job of keeping the road water off you. And I have zero concerns over waterproofing. Every time there's a cable entrance, that cable is fully armored. There are glands, there are gaskets and sealants, and it's it's every bit as waterproof as any car I've ever seen. There's just I compulsively wipe it off because I want to take care of it, but it seems like it could withstand some pretty harsh treatment without any real issue. Um, Out of the box, we've got our control panel up here. The display is bright and easy to read, but it really doesn't do much. We get the gives us a speed. You can see whether you're in eco, sport, or race mode, and what your battery life is like. But oh, I broke all my notes. So yeah, it doesn't really do a whole lot. I've seen graphs. I've seen videos of other scooters that have like current draw and things like that. But that's actually not too big of a deal because that display. I'll get into that a little bit more in the future. So yeah, so display is fine. Physical controls, that's a shame. The Max G3 has a nice little button pad on the right side. While this scooter has physically more inputs than the Max, certainly more than the ZT3, these twist dials are just not good. Um, in my opinion, I have an extremely difficult time getting a grip on them. Like for example, while I'm trying to ride the scooter, and yeah, no good. The buttons, they're great. Thumb for power, thumb for horn. And then the knobs on the side, they also act as momentary buttons. So on the right side, you can tap that for a boost while you're in race mode, apparently, and you can hold it to toggle walk mode. That's actually pretty handy if you just need to pop off the scooter. You just want to wait till traffic goes on, and when you hold it again, it'll go back into whatever drive mode you had it in. I wish the walk mode had a little bit more torque because I do want to be able to sort of drive it up on a curb, and it seems to, not want to do that. But yeah, over here on the left side, things, again, the controls. Tap a medium length tap to toggle cruise control. and then a long tap to enable and disable all-wheel drive. Now, I'm not sure why you would really want to do that. I feel like I spent thousands of dollars in order to get all-wheel drive. So maybe that's a function of economy. I could see maybe a button to disable traction control in race mode if you want to do burnouts or something. But it's not really clear to me why you would want that feature. Also over here we have a turn signal. The front signals are really kind of an upgrade from Segway's other models. They're bright and easy to see. The back, though, I feel like the Max did a little bit better job. It has illuminated, at the end of the handlebars, whereas this, the only rear visibility is right down at ground level, where people who are following you too closely, who need signals, don't really necessarily see them. So look for some, options in there as well. Again, going back to this twisty knob, it's not easy to switch between high and low beam headlights. That seems like it would be a perfect, application just for a button. But Segway seems to think that I'd rather have cruise control at night, which is not the case. Indications. We've got a little bell there, and like I mentioned, the GT3 does have a real, apparently motorcycle horn in there. The Max G3 has a speaker, and some of the noises I've heard, the nicest thing I can say about them is they're unprofessional. So this model doesn't seem to, have any custom audio. There's just a little piezo, beep beep sort of thing. Other kind of indications there. The daytime running light of the Max seems a lot more visible than this little guy. The Max has an adjustable angle headlight. It doesn't have high and low beam, which are actually different lenses pointing in different areas here. So, I mean, if only I could switch them in the dark, in the rain, without having to wear special gloves or something. The ZT3 model has a lighted X here in the front. I don't know what that has to do with PayPal or Twitter, but this model only comes with just sort of a cosmetic. It's shiny on the front. I've already had my first wreck driving along, not paying attention. In hindsight, I think I just pulled on the front brake too hard and went over the handlebars. So when I did that, I kind of scraped up the entire, front of the thing up here. And also this X took a whole bunch of impact, which it almost seems like it's designed to do that to save some of the other cosmetic bits. So I don't know. I'm not sure how much effort I want to put into lighting that up, only to destroy it again. A couple things. Some other models. The Max G3, you can't lock it. Not really. They give you this front area, sort of a handle thing, where you can put a chain through or whatever. But on the Max, you can unbolt it. It's literally just, can be unscrewed. This unit, when you go to lock it, you've got a couple options of going through sort of a welded frame point. And I don't know, that, in and of itself is if you live in a theft, prone area, that might be, a good reason, even just for the G3, not necessarily the Pro, because you could get that with an external battery. Have a similar, range to this guy, and 30 pounds less would make it a whole lot more portable. So the battery performance I can only describe as outstanding. I've only been using the all-wheel drive sport mode, so that goes up to 31 miles an hour. And the load, just driving, having some fun, it's about 10% of the battery for 5 miles. So that's enough for me to travel anywhere in the city I live in. I could go a complete north-south and return, east-west. So range, battery life, I don't have to think about, which is a big a big pro for me. I really like Segway's ability to limit the charge percentage. In the app, you can choose, whether to charge the battery to 100% or to a lower threshold. I've just been going to 85 because it's more than enough range. Some of the, you know, science, theorizes that you could double every 5% less you charge it. Uh, you know, Certainly every 10% it could double your number of charge cycles. So yeah, this should be, a battery pack for the long term. Uh, Reasons to buy this over a different brand. I just overall vehicle engineering quality. Everything about this is first rate. The connections are strong. You know, I don't know, just overall, yeah, quality engineering. I feel like Segway has a pretty good commitment to safety. I know they recently issued a recall for something like 200,000 scooters, and well, while it's bad that 200,000 potentially defective scooters got out there, to recall and repair that number is a significant, commitment. So they seem to do well with their software support. They are based in China, but they used to be American, so some engineering in there somewhere. Over a decade of experience with regenerative braking and traction control. And yeah, again, just the battery safety. I feel like they take that, seriously. If you've watched the some of the take aparts, the Sail Samocat, the Russian take apart video where they rip into the battery, it's in a metal enclosure. It's like airtight and sealed, waterproof to a meter. They've taken that real seriously. So I don't know. Number of stars, 10 out of 10. I couldn't be more pleased with the product. Uh, yeah, good stuff. Overall design, battery software. So yeah, the only thing I'm not especially impressed, like I said, the knobs, and then the display doesn't do anything. Now that's an interesting sort of point. The way these vehicles are designed, we started the battery, and we have a battery management computer. That then connects to the DRV, the driver, the motor control board, and from there, there's a signal comes up the stalk to the vehicle, the VCU, the vehicle control interface. That's where the throttle inputs, the brake, because in addition to mechanical brakes, they do read the the angle of the sensors, and they use that to apply engine regenerative braking. Where was I going with all that? So yeah, so the VCU, it reads all those sensors and then basically just talks to the display board. I've looked at some of the communications. Basically, the VCU is just broadcasting. Display this. I am in sport mode, so display the sport page. I'm going 31 miles an hour. Display 31. And one thing that was really interesting to me is that the vehicle operates completely normally, with the exception of a beep. But high beam, low beam, sport mode, eco mode, in and out, everything operates just fine with that entire display disconnected. So my plan there is to kind of make that optional. I've taken this thing apart a few too many times, so I'm not excited about doing it again. So I'm gonna try and make a modular sort of a header system. I was able to locate some 0.2 millimeter double row header in my junk box, and then I got some male connectors to join with the onto the control board to then jump to the. Yeah, I was going to make the LCD module removable because I don't think I need it to drive around. I need it to receive Bluetooth to run the configuration app. I need it to install firmware updates, but it should be like super simple to use ESP8266 or ESP32 to whatever the keep alive signal is this thing is looking for, I've got it recorded, so I should be able to re-engineer that. And then I do want to make like a straight through. I want to tap all the pins, and so I can run those into a logic analyzer, because there's a couple of GPIO controls in there. There's a debug UART. And then I'm gonna give Segway a call and see if they can fix my broken software updates, and see if I can get a dump of whatever sort of activity they put forward for that. So yeah, fun stuff. I'll be back at the desk next time. Get a look at this Tableau. Like I say, I didn't break it. It's been hacked around. I've got a complete ecosystem of, things monitoring and interacting with it, but I'd never tampered with the software, never taken any screws out, never opened it. I think that it just overheated and burned out, probably for running 24/7. So this thing has 4 over-the-air ATSC tuners and 4 digital tuners that it'll use to pull down. That's one of Tableau's new things, is these, they call them fast, free ad-supported television. And so I was just, recording that stuff nonstop because it comes in as, 1080p at up to 12 meg H.264 streams. And yeah, just building a collection. So that'll be something you may, I've already talked a little bit about, but see if I can give a preview of that setup. Yeah. Couple hard drives and SSDs and a Raspberry Pi, which acts like a hard drive. So that's what's enabled me to go inside the Tableau and extract the video without doing anything. Well, I guess I went to all the trouble to set that microscope up as well. It's showing up there on the screen now. That's one of the cam interfaces I bought to tap into the cam. So it's the serial connections are up in the head unit. Everything that goes between the VCU and the drive board is it's CAN bus. So I do have a couple, this 2534 generic standard. I was able to use that on my Toyota with their TechStream software and upgraded transmission. And another product that works with the 4Scan OBD tool. So yeah, I'm excited to get in there and see what those messages look like. I guess that's what they have these speed unlock chips now that are going in that cable. So that's a new thing, but I'm rambling now. That was the main focus. So cut it here. If you get a chance, by all means, put that sub on. And well, it's been real and it's been fun. So we'll try it again in the future. Catch you guys later.